Tungatsagitsi, welcome to Inua, the exhibition. I'm so thrilled that we're finally able to share this exhibition with you. I'm Heather Igluliyukti, and I'm from Nunatsiavut. I grew up in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and I currently live in Montreal, but I've been here in Winnipeg for the last couple of months working on this exhibition so we can share it all with you. And I've been doing that with my three co-curators. Together we represent all of the regions of the Inuit Nunangat, and it's my pleasure to introduce them.
Uluyoyunga igluligaktuk niu taksariyunga nunavumni. Tunga suktitiyu matuinaktugo ilipsinu tagvunga Inua. I am Krista Uliyuk-Sawatsky. I'm from Igluligaktuk and Rankin Inlet, Nunavut, and we wanted to welcome you to the space here at our show Inua.
Hello, I'm Asin Nayak and I come from Inukjuak, Nunavik, but I've grown up in the suburbs of Montreal. My parents are Carol Rowan and Joby Witeltuk, and there I am.
Uvanga Kablusiak. My name is Kablusiak. My mom is from Tuktoyaktuk. Her name is Holly Nasagalowak Carpenter, and my dad is from Sax Harbor, and his name is Arlen Carpenter. I was born in Yellowknife and raised in Edmonton, and I'm currently based in Mohkinstsis or Calgary.
This first room of the exhibition is an important welcoming space for us because it invites Inuit and other visitors alike to come in and to appreciate what the Arctic is like from an Inuit perspective. And that means understanding that we have changing seasons and that the Arctic is a beautiful place that in the summertime is teeming with life, with lichens and flowers and animals and just everything that we appreciate about Nuna, our homelands. We want to share that with everyone else as well. So the exhibition is called Inua, and Inua means life force in many dialects around the circumpolar Arctic, but it also is an acronym which translated into English means Inuit moving forward together. And so that was our collective vision as curators for the exhibition, that this not just this exhibition, but also this whole building, Kamayuk, could be a place for Inuit to move forward together in the arts. And we're really excited to share that with you. So please join me and we're gonna go look at some work in the gallery. This gallery space is called Kilak, and Kilak means sky. It is one of the many spaces throughout Kamayuk and the existing WAG building that have been given Indigenous names. The elders and language keepers that worked together to name this space called it Kilak because of the incredible quality of light that comes in through the massive skylights, but also I think the airiness and the openness of this space. This work is by Matusi Ayatuk and Etienne Gay. It's a collaborative piece, and as you can see, it's a motorcycle sidecar. The title of this work, translated into English, means the first mermaid that can travel on the land. And as you can see, it is a beautiful mermaid that starts here with the antlers and goes all the way down to a tail that wraps around the back of the sidecar. It's an amazing piece made out of road signs and wood and other found objects like antlers, and have all been put together to create this really kind of fun, but also I think interesting work that references Inuit spirituality or oral history. To me, it looks like it might be a representation of Nuliayuk. She is, of course, the Inuit sea goddess whose oral histories can be found throughout almost all of the circumpolar Inuit world.
Hi, here's a work by Siku Alulu. This work is sealskin letters cut out and placed on a canvas. You can see it's like very intricate work, and they're making up a poem that Siku wrote called Akia. And it's a very beautiful poem, so I hope that you get a chance to read it. And now I'd like to show you something just over here. So here what we have are some really spectacular and completely legendary carvings. Over here in front of me, there's a piece by Joe Talirulini, and it's The Migration. And this work especially has left a big mark on me, and I'm just so amazed that we get to have it in this exhibition.
Working with our Inuit exhibition designer, Nicole Luke, we decided that one of the best ways to showcase this incredible space for the inaugural exhibition would be not to put up a lot of temporary walls in a big exhibition space like this, but actually to think about how we might bring some of the informal architectures of the Arctic into the gallery space and use that instead of gallery walls as a kind of organizational principle. Working with Nicole, our team decided to introduce some of those kind of scenes or places or spaces that you might encounter in the Arctic. We've got a hunting cabin, an interior scene from an Anunsiak's living room, and then also a shipping container, which you all know are ubiquitous throughout the Arctic. This installation by Asuma is a replica of Zacharias Kunuk's hunting cabin, but if you'll join me inside the installation, you'll see that it's actually also a 4-channel video work. This work in the cabin by the Asuma team, I think, is a really powerful commentary on Inuit life today and resource extraction and our anxieties around the Arctic. As soon as you come out of the cabin, you are looking at a work by emerging artist Bronson Jacques, who's a painter from Nunatsiavut, who also is reflecting on similar anxieties that we have in Nunatsiavut and our shared anxieties across the Arctic around the pollution of our lands and waters. I think this installation, which is a sound and video installation as well, I think this is a space that's going to feel really familiar to a lot of Inuit and Inuvialuit. This is work by Lindsay McIntyre, and in it, she's recreated her Anunsiak, or grandmother's, living room and kitchen space, and I think that it is evoking that feeling of nostalgia, but also that the photographs actually tell a story as well about McIntyre's family and ancestors and what they had to go through. There is a history of colonization and dislocation, but also of reconnection and coming together with families and relations that I think is really special. And I hope that people get to spend some time in this room. You're actually allowed to sit on the chairs. We invite you to come in because there is a audio track that plays throughout the space that is a number of different Inuit and Inuvialuit voices speaking in Inuktitut and in English and talking about their own experiences of, say, moving south and then coming back to community and feeling that sense of community that's so important to us all. Also in this part of the gallery, we're really happy about all the different relationships that have been made between the works. This beautiful, beautiful sealskin rug by Cousine van Huvelen, who has done a hooked rug in this massive 12-foot sealskin pattern, is just, I think it speaks really beautifully to the installation of wall hangings that you can see behind me, but also to other things that are handmade with love, like this gorgeous installation of dolls.
So behind me here we have an installation of dolls from the collection at the WAG. We've arranged them. If you want a little curatorial tidbit, they're arranged from the Western Arctic to the east, sort of like our approximation of where these dolls would have originated. It's great to be able to see all the dolls here in Inua put together, like all in one space, just because it's a great way to see the sort of, I don't want to say trends, but like the sort of the regional aesthetics, if you would, of Inuit Nunangat from west to east.
This is an installation work by Glenn Gear, and as you can see, it's inside of a shipping container, which is inside of the gallery. When he proposed this to us last year, we kind of thought it was crazy, but now it's real. It is a mural in Glenn's style, his signature black and white style of mural painting, and that also includes a video, like a portal, that completes the installation. On one side, the mural talks about our history. Glenn and I are both from Nunatsiavut, and we have an oral history there about where the Northern Lights come from. And that is that the ground was broken and the Northern Lights were released up into the sky, but what was left below became labradorite, which is our precious stone. It looks like the Northern Lights. It's got all the shimmery greens and golds and blues inside of it. So that's one part, is the history is on one side, and then on the other side is our future. And so you can see inside the mural, he has painted igloos in the future with satellite dishes on the top, and water basins and all these other things that he's imagining for the future of our lands. If we walk over this way, you can see this gorgeous work of wearable art by artists Beatrice Deer and Julia Grenier of Nunavik. This is a really stunning Amauti, which I think really underscores the theme of the exhibition of Inuit moving forward together and a kind of an Inuit futurity. What will our clothing look like in the future, and how does it reference the past? Something that was really important to us in creating this exhibition was not just to include artists from the Canadian Arctic, but to think about the Inuit world in a more expansive way, and to bring in our Inuit family from Alaska all the way to Greenland. So this is an artist, Brian Adams. He's a photographer who's based in Alaska, who has done this incredible series of photographs that depict everyday life in his community. This incredible poem is written by Jesse Kleeman, who is also a performance artist based in Greenland. This work speaks to one of the major themes of the exhibition, which is around language and also poetics. This installation by Shirley Morehouse, including these two wall hangings and this beaded fire, are part of a larger body of work that Shirley has been developing that speaks to, like some of the other artists in the exhibition, concerns around changes to our communities that are brought about through resource development and new technologies. Shirley is a multi-talented mixed media artist who has long been working in the wall hanging format. Each of her pieces tells an incredible story. There's often a lot of signifiers that speak to a broader history. This is a really beautiful and meaningful work. I think we're all so happy to have it in the exhibition. This is a piece that talks about namesakes and naming traditions in Inuit cultures that are shared across the Arctic. This work by Maya Sialuk Jacobson from Greenland speaks about namesakes and about family and kinship. In the image on the right, that's actually a self-portrait of the artist, and then these are also her family members and their namesakes as well. There are over 100 works in this exhibition, and they are all very important to us, but this one bears a special mention, I think. This is a work by Bill Nasagalowak, who is a sculptor from the Inuvialuit region. Early in the mid-20th century and continuing until about the 1960s, Inuit and Inuvialuit in many parts of the western and eastern Arctic part of Canada were compelled to wear these numbers and to identify themselves according to these numbers. In fact, in this collection and in many other Inuit art collections around the world, if you pick up a sculpture in a gallery that was made in the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, it's just as likely to be signed with a number on the bottom as it is with a name. That is how prevalent this, I think, dehumanizing practice was, but also, I think, speaks very much to Inuit resilience and continuity. We adore this massive drawing by artist Elisipi Ishilutak called Yesterday and Today. In it, it tells a story about the recollections from her life, of what life was like in her community in the past and how it is now. We're now upstairs on the gallery. This mezzanine level is called Kijik, which also means sky. And this is a really great place to not just appreciate the amazing works that are on this floor, but also to look out over onto the exhibition below. So I really love this space. Behind me is a work by Fanny Avatituk that Krista's going to tell you about.
And here is Fanny Avatido's wall hanging. Her attention to detail and intricate stitches are always captivating, and her choice of colors are always vibrant. What draws me in is the border that she's made, which I had never seen before. It's quite interesting how she had sewn it instead of around to the back, but she sewn it in the front and had hid the seam. And over here we have Jesse Dungilik's sealskin spacesuit. He was inspired to make this spacesuit because when he was a child, he used to go out and play in the wintertime in his own sealskin clothing or caribou skin clothing and pretend to be a spaceman. So in the exhibition, we have almost 100 different artists being showcased. And we are really excited for us to show you their pieces. We feel that we've worked really hard to honor the artists themselves and the legacies that they have developed, the legacies that they've created. And it's really exciting, and I feel privileged and honored to have this opportunity to showcase the artist's work.
I think that it's very important to have spaces like this that are home specifically for Inuit art or what have you. To me, the significance of it is that fads come and go, and sometimes it feels like the support for our art could disappear at any moment, but having a building that's dedicated to us feels a little bit like a security. And it's saying that we will have support for a long time to come.
I think this space will be a beautiful breeding ground for Inuit art to sort of expand and experiment and find different ways of making, and having that accessibility is going to be pretty remarkable for the artists involved, like for now and in the future.
This powerful series of portraits by Jenny Irene Miller, who's an artist from Alaska, represent LGBTQ2S community members where she's from. When this powerful installation is complete, it will also include text panels featuring the voices of the subjects of the works themselves. As a curatorial team, we're so happy with the way that the works in this part of the exhibition fit together. Here we have a ceramic vessel by artist Guki Nuka, who's a ceramicist and photographer, among other artistic practices, who's based in Greenland. And we have this work here in the context of Rankin Inlet ceramics, which are very well known in Canada and are a really important part of Inuit art history. To the other side, thinking about that kind of continuity between past practices and new practices, we have photographic works by Eldred Allen. He's a Nunatsiavut artist who works in something called photogrammetry, which is the bringing together of many perspectives using drone photography to create one whole image. So we're thrilled to have him in the gallery as well. To the far end of the gallery is an incredible installation by Niap Sanders, who's from Nunavik. This work is 3 sculptural pieces that are meant to represent 3 distinct throat songs sung by the artist and installed, suspended over these plinths, I think in a really dramatic way that gives weight and meaning to Kadijak and other Inuit traditions.
So this work here is by Maureen Grubin. She's from Tuktoyaktuk, and she's a multidisciplinary artist, and she works with a bunch of different materials and processes. It's resin and polar bear bones arranged into like this beautiful spiral, and it's really great to be able to see it suspended and be able to gain some intimacy with this work.
Again, I'm Heather Igluliukti. My parents are Linda and James Igloliurti. My father's parents are Matthew Igloliurti and Susanna Mitsuk, and her father, my great-grandfather, was Solomon Mitsuk. Susanna, or Susie, as she was better known, was a fantastic seamstress. This work is a caribou hide bag with beadwork on it. I don't know when it was made because it was actually, it came into my life because someone reached out to me on Twitter and said, hey, I think I have something that your grandmother made that my father bought and has been passed down in my family. So it's really special that it's here in the exhibition and on loan, and that I get to spend time with it and to spend time with her beadwork. She passed away when I was a little girl, and so I didn't get to spend as much time with her when I was growing up as I would have liked. And so it's really special to me to have this here now.
I'm standing beside my Nanuk's dolls that are in Inua. My Nanuk made these. She was taught how to make dolls by her mom, Susie Rubin Nessagalawak. And if I didn't mention her name, my Nanuk's name is Ella Nessagalawak Brown. So these are dolls wearing traditional sort of like Mother Hubbard style dresses from the Western Arctic, from the Inuvialuit Regional Settlement. It's really heartwarming to see family within the exhibition. It makes me feel very at home.
Hi. This work here is really special to me because it's been made by my great aunt Elizabeth. And in my journey as a curator, an exhibition with these dolls is one of the first exhibitions that I ever curated. And it was a great honor to make what I believe was her first solo exhibition with a very special collection of dolls that was made especially for children. These dolls were made, there's a collection of a great many different dolls and vignettes that all depict stories that she had heard and heard from other elders around Nunavik. This one right here is A Woman and a Caterpillar, which tells the story of a woman who adopted a caterpillar. And I think the work that she's done is very, very incredible, and I'm very proud of it.
The carving we have here was made by my great-grandfather, Virtu Samoktok. He was my mother's father's father. He was from Netzilik, and he eventually moved to Igluligarchuk with his wife, who was from Ivilik, my Amauk, Igalak. At the base of the carving, he has his name in syllabics, Samoktok. And to me, I feel that's a bold statement to say, this is my piece. The legacy he left behind with my family is one that inspires me. He's known as a man of integrity. He had great attention to detail, and he did a lot of intricate work. My mother says his favorite medium to carve was ivory, and I can see why. It allows him to do the work that he does best. And that attention to detail and that hard work that he shows in his work is something that inspires me every day.
So we're ending the exhibition where we began, in this room, because this is an installation that speaks to all of our ancestors. So each one of us has included works in the show that reference our family members and people who've come before us who have cleared a path for us to do what we're doing now. It was really important to the curatorial team that we begin this exhibition in acknowledgement of the fact that who we are comes from our ancestry.